Coming off a big weekend over in Mobile, Gulf Coast Challenge, great win for our football team, our program. I thought our team came out and competed well early in the entire first half. Only had one penalty going into halftime. Offense was clicking at all cylinders. Defense creating turnovers. Very pleased with what those guys did. Kind of got laxed in the second half. Got to come out with better energy and finish people when we got them down. But for the most part, we created some additional turnovers, and offense was able to get another score when we needed. So great win. Looking forward to homecoming this week.
Yeah, are you excited to have Alabama State as your homecoming game?
No matter who it is, homecoming is homecoming. You talk about all the people that'll be in town. Me being an alum here, I know what homecoming means for Jackson State, no matter who we're playing. So our team is excited about it. It's another conference game for us.
Do you remember the remarks that the coach made? You guys have them all over the place.
I do. But like I said, regardless, we gotta go be ready. We talk about being solid with execution as a football team, playing with physicality as a unit. So that's the things we're gonna do in order to go out here and win this weekend.
Any different feelings for homecoming as head coach now?
We just stacking them up right now. That's what I'm excited about this football team. They playing hard. They understand, we can control what we can control at this point. But, it's always good. This will be our second time in the VIT, so we're excited about that as well. And then, just a big crowd. It's going to things start really taking off tomorrow. People getting in town and, the family of the players, myself, got family coming in, these coaches. So we're excited about it.
Is there a different sort of energy in the crowd during homecoming games?
No doubt. I mean, you got a lot of people that hadn't seen Jackson State play live that'll be here this weekend to see that game. And they excited. Everybody know, you expect 40, 50,000. You never know how that deal go for as attendance, but it's going to be packed. The tailgate is going to be packed. Just a great week leading up to the football game. You're getting back into town and going to seeing some people you went to school with you hadn't seen in a while. So it's going to be big excitement this weekend.
Can you talk about your defensive backs? I mean, everybody's coming up with interceptions.
Yeah, well, that's something we talk about. Coach Quinn does a great job with those guys on the back end, getting them coached up week in, week out. This past football game, you go in 38-7, so we knew coming out in the second half, it's just going to turn into 7-on-7, a bunch of throws. They're going to get some completions there, but we got to continue to compete, and they did that for the most part. But we got some length back there, some smart football players, some guys that can really rally to the ball, and when they get their hands on it, they come down with it.
You talk about just having as many running backs as you do that are able to run the ball and run the ball well.
Well, that's something we pride ourselves on, being able to run the football. We have Coach Brandon does a good job of getting all those guys coached up. They get banged up a lot. We're still missing J.D. Martin right now, but it's always the next guy up. Whether it's Dez Moultrie, Miller has done a great job as a true freshman. Zeke does a great job for us on special teams and everything. So it's a plus to have those type of guys, especially when we talk about playing with a physicality as a group and wanting to run the football.
Coach, the thing no one's talking about is not even a player, but maybe a position coach. Can you talk about your wide receiver coach? He's been a big part of their success and how you came to hire him.
Yeah, B.A. Came over from Texas State for us. He's a fireball. The kids respond to him. They love him a lot. He's a technician. He really does a good job of teaching the ins and outs of the receiver position. And, for me, that I take that position to heart, being a former player and former receiver here. So I really critique it a lot, but he does a great job. So I'm able to stand back and just watch him get those guys better. And you see dudes developing like Kobe Paul, Duke Miller, Rico Powers. All those guys are playing at a high level. So, I can't say enough about the job he's done thus far.
And can you talk about your kickers or any of them out for the season, and if so, who?
Well, we know Gerard Obeza is probably done for the season. We'll see how that goes, but everybody else should be back this weekend.
What do you make of Alabama State's quarterbacks? They've been kind of playing quarterback system.
Those guys do exactly what Alabama State wants to do. They want to run the football, eat some clock up. Two different spectrums, though. You got one that's in there to, kind of run the ball, and then the other kid they bring in there when they want to kind of throw it around, Damon Stewart, I think that's his name. So, we got to be conscious of that, you know, who's at quarterback. And we've been kind of seeing it all year, multiple quarterbacks back there. So Coach Bradley will get those guys coached up and have them ready to, you know, the things that they present to us and have us ready to go out and attack it.
Apologize if it's already been asked, but can you talk about just how Seven kind of has been bursting on the scene a couple weeks off that injury?
Yeah, well, I've been telling people, you know, he's steady getting healthy. You know, and it's been week after week, he's getting better. You can see the burst. He's still not quite where he needs to be, but you can still see his elusiveness. He did a good job of that. So, you know, we're expecting another big week out of him. You know, he had a couple good punt returns for us. I think he had, 2 touchdowns receiving. And anytime, you know, at that size can go out there and play the X or the Z receiver on the outside and catch a fade ball, it shows his explosiveness. So, you know, we continue to stress on him to get better. You know, take your time, let it come back to you. So he's been getting better day by day.
Do you think it was that bye week kind of helped the offense as a whole bounce back from that game against Bethune and then now into Bama A&M, how good the offense was in that one?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it just helped our football team as a whole. You know, when you can go out there and reevaluate some things in the first half of the season and get back in here and, you know, find out what guys can help you win, you know, in these last 5-6 games. You know, we just hit the reset button, and that's kind of what we did. And, you know, that's what you've seen the 45 points from this past weekend.
Coach, any chance you reassert Martin since he's been injured and give him another year?
Who, JD?
Yes.
We'll see. You know, that's something I'd sit down with him and talk with him about, you know, his position coach as well. But we're just waiting to get him back and see how healthy he is once he get back and how can he help this football team.
Coach, with being a team that just had a big game before y'all, what is the morale going to the game with Alabama State?
Say that one more time.
With beating.
Beating. Okay.
With beating A&M, that had a big game before y'all. What is the morale going to Alabama State?
I mean, we're feeling good about ourselves right now. You know, we're 4-2 as a football team. Like you said, we had a huge win this past weekend against a well-coached team by Coach Maynard over there at Alabama A&M. But, you know, the thing about us, we just take the next game up. We want to be prepared for it as coaches, as players and everything. So, you know, we're excited about the weekend. We know, you know, the expectation as far as everybody ready and excited for homecoming. But I told the players, homecoming not really for us. You know, the game is what we're all about and getting ready for Alabama State.
Coach, were you surprised about Watson's kicking?
No, I seen it in practice. You know, once we got him out there in practice, I saw him kick a couple. I was like, this dude got a live leg. You know, we did our homework on him, the stuff he did in junior college and stuff down at Gulf Coast and Colin. You know, we knew we had something in him, and he's only going to get better. You know, with that just being his first week out there, it's just truly a blessing for him to, you know, be on campus and able to be a part of this football team.
Coach, could you discuss like the impact of, or I guess I don't want to necessarily say the emergence of Fabian McCray, but he's kind of been a little more active in the offense.
Yeah, I mean, Fabian is another one that's kind of like we've been waiting on him like 7. You know, he's a transfer, came in from Northern Illinois. We had big expectations for, and it was all about the chemistry with him and Jason. You know, and once they started getting on the same page, we seen at the previous game some flashes of it. He had he lost focus, had a big drop, I think, in the last game and in this game. But to come back and, you know, answer the bell, you know, anytime you get those transfers in here, you're expecting those guys to come in and make an immediate impact. And, you know, you saw it on that play.
Coach, can you talk about your quarterback Morgan? I mean, your decision to use him on the goal line.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of dudes that can play. You know, Jacobian runs out there, he's huge, you know, and so we schemed up some stuff. Coach Modem did a great job. Him and Coach O and that staff did a great job of scheming up something that fits what he does right now for this program. And, you know, it paid off. O-line blocked, he caught the ball and, you know, walked in a couple times.
Any more questions? Not. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank y'all. All right.
Coach, can you talk about your defensive backs?
Been pleased with them. Like Coach Quinn said last week, we've got a bunch of guys back there that can get the job done, and all of them competing and fighting for them reps out there. And they've been doing a good job. We're getting our hands on balls lately. You know, just getting turnovers and challenging receivers, and you know, we plan on keeping that part up.
What's it like preparing for different quarterbacks? You know, they got a couple.
You know, they got 2 quarterbacks that can, you know, that challenge you at times. One's a runner, but can throw it on the move, and the other one can sit back there and kind of make all the throws. So we just got to be in tune to the game plan and who's in the game, and that'll tell us a lot about, you know, what they got going on. So as long as we do that and pay attention to what's going on, we'll be fine.
What would you say some of Alabama State's biggest challenges that they present?
Offensively, you know, they come out and they want to run the ball and control the time of possession. So we got to do a good job of fitting up the run and getting them down and, you know, getting off the field when we get the opportunity to get off the field. They present a lot of different formations that challenge your kids to see and get lined up to with the unbalanced, to tackle over, things of that nature. And, you know, once we, you know, get lined up and play ball, we should be okay.
In the second half, you guys gave up some points
Mhm.
later. Was that just playing prevent defense and keeping everything in front of you, or were there some mistakes that were happening?
There was a couple of mistakes that happened. We got that cleaned up, though. You know, credit Alabama A&M. You know, they're a good team, good offense that can score points. But we got to be better. We got to play 4 quarters of football. And we talked to the defense about that, and that's what we plan on doing going forward.
Coach, has anybody play surprised you on the defense so far this year?
We've been knowing what pretty much all of them can do. Just the unit being able to come out and work and not complain and keep their heads down and continue to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. That's what we've been impressed with. Just, you know, all of them committing to what we're trying to get to, and that's, you know, continue winning football games.
Coach, you're depth. Can you talk about your rotation? You don't miss a beat when you substitute or somebody gets injured.
We've been fortunate enough to have, you know, people, like I said, that can come in and play. They've been competing for them reps, and like I say, there's really no drop off when they do come in. You know, we got a bunch of good talent over there in that room, and we've been fortunate enough to have that. So when we do sub, you know, it's not, you know, kind of no drop off. They come in, they compete, they understand the expectations, and they fly around and play hard.
Coach, going back just a couple weeks to Bethune, how big of a confidence boost was that, you know, with the defense really holding Bethune and really being the reason why y'all came out and won that game?
We know what we can do when we're at our best, and it's just about being locked in and being focused every single game, and you know, just executing the plan. You know, trying to play at a high level, and if we could do that, you know, again, we'd be fine. But it was one of them deals where, you know, we got back to the basics, and the kids came out and responded, and they responded well.
And obviously Texas State, a very good FBS football
Mhm.
team, but what was kind of the difference you saw in their performance in that game 3 games ago and now through Bethune and now coming into this week with Bama State?
Again, just understanding what we want, understand the different fits, and not being, you know, overwhelmed. And that's really the biggest part, the preparation piece, going out and, you know, spending more time in the meeting room, coming over there, spending more time on their own, watching film, and just, again, just the understanding of where I'm supposed to be and when I'm supposed to be there. And we've been cleaning that part up, and it's been showing up on Saturdays.
Coach, how do you get your kids to not buy into the hype for the homecoming weekend and get them ready to play?
We understand we got another team that's coming in here that wants to win. And, you know, we always tell them that homecoming is not for them. They're at home already. So it's no deal to come home. Homecoming's for everybody else that's coming back to visit the campus, to see the football game, things of that nature. It's about us putting on a show and giving them our best so they can really enjoy their homecoming after the game. And really, you know, that's the deal we've been preaching. And the kids been buying into it.
Any more questions? If not, thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, guys, it's time to have Coach Mo. We have more questions.
Hey guys, how you doing? We got another tough opponent this weekend with Alabama State coming to town. You know, they're led defensively by Colton Adams. You know, he does a really good job for them. He's a big old boy. You know, he creates some problems for us. He really does. 57, Traquan Thomas is another one that we have to keep our eye on as well. You know, defensively, man, they've been tearing it up. They haven't given up more than 23 points a game. So we had a really good challenge for us this weekend. So we're very excited about the task at hand. But it's going to take some work to get it done for sure.
Talk about the explosion in the first half. I mean, 38 points, a lot to score in the first half.
Yeah, well, defensively, they helped us out a whole lot now. They gave us a short field. Yeah. And when you get a short field, you know, you're supposed to be able to do some things, you know, and having a kicker that gives us some confidence as well. Dylan came in and did a really good job for us. But guys executed. We won first down. That helps out a lot. You can get our tempo going when we win first down. And early on, Jason and those guys were making really good decisions. Irv was running the ball really, really well. So was Ahmad, and that helped us out tremendously.
Yeah, Irv's won newcomer twice now. Just
Really?
talk about his newcomer of the week twice. So just talk about his emergence now as kind of one of your featured running backs because you got a couple.
Yeah. So what you get with him, man, just a tenacious mentality when he runs the football. It's rare that the first guy gets him down, and he's always straining for more yards. But he practices it that way. So I'm not surprised when I see him doing that on Saturdays. And then too, he's become one of our leaders as well. He's a very emotional guy, passionate guy. So guys feed off of that. And then too, he has put together a resume where guys will listen to him. They will heed his instruction.
How excited are the guys for homecoming?
I tell you what, they better be excited for the next game. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the most important thing. I got a lot of family that's coming into town. I'm pretty sure they do as well. But if we don't put together a product that looks good on that field, all of us would be, a little bit upset afterwards. So today's practice was really good. Guys were locked in, they were focused. So that should let you know something that they're excited about the next game.
Took with the playmakers, you have a bunch of running backs that are doing well, wide receivers that kind of step up. How helpful is that for you when you're game planning to know that there are so many guys that can get involved?
It is helpful because, we emphasize every week, feed the stud, and now that, Ahmad and Irv has been making plays, Rico's making plays, Seven is back with us now. You got Fabian that's coming on as well. So you got some guys you can, put the ball in their hands and they'll make some incredible plays, explosive plays for you. So we have to be creative in that sense as well. But the great thing about our team, though, regardless who's getting the football, who's making the plays, those guys are all supportive of one another, and that helps out as a coach as well.
Coach, can you talk about all three of your tight ends? They seem like they're interchangeable.
Yes. So, you talk about DJ. DJ is just a steady guy, and he is very knowledgeable in our offense. Saturday, and as a matter of fact, he fixed the problem. He got Jason, corrected on a particular play. So he's very savvy. He's very knowledgeable. I trust him when he's on the field. Hayden brings a physical mindset. If you notice, Hayden is pretty much on the ball when he's in the game, especially in our 12 personnel sets. And he has a physical mentality, and he's really catching the ball very well now. And then Jency is one that can really stretch the field vertically. Jency is, has really come on from a standpoint of his physicality, which we trust him more to put him in the game to stretch the field vertically. But he does a really good job for us as well.
Offense put up about more than 30 points in the first half. How do you keep that momentum going in the second half?
Yeah. So and that's the thing that with us still being a young team, just the focus, the mindset of every play, every drive has a life of its own, and it starts with a mentality at practice, and we have to continue to develop that mentality. That because we're up, we can't let up. Because we're up, we have to stay focused on the task at hand, and we're still developing that. That's something that we harp on a daily basis, and our guys are starting to get it, but we still have a ways to go from that perspective.
You mentioned Colton Adams as offensive coordinator. How do you somewhat neutralize him too? I'm sure you won't necessarily shut him fully down. How do you neutralize him in your
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't think you can just totally shut him out, but some of the things that we do with misdirections and tempo, hopefully that would get him tired out. But man, he's going to make his plays, but we're going to make ours as well. But yeah, he's a phenomenal football player.
Always looks like there's a different guy at every position every week stepping up. Y'all's depth is kind of crazy, and how does that impact the mentality and the competitiveness in practice, knowing that it's next guy up, whether it's receiver, quarterback?
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of guys that will fight through injuries because they know if they are out for an extended period of time, they won't, have that same level of I would say same level of awareness, same level of intentionality, same level of us trusting them. So we have guys, that fight through injuries because they know that in certain positions we have some pretty good depth, that guys can come in and make plays. So I cherish that as a coordinator, that we got guys that you can plug in and play and don't miss a beat.
Coach, the last couple games, your offense has always responded when someone's come down and scored. You guys have always either went for it on fourth down and got it, or come back and scored. So you have to be happy. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So you want us to. You want an offense that's going to respond, but more importantly, you want an offense that's going to be efficient every single drive. So I don't look at it as we responded because they scored. I look at it as we're being efficient offensively. And our goal is to be a fundamentally efficient scoring machine. That's our goal. And in order to do that, we got to protect the ball. We got to run the football. We got to create explosive plays, and we got to go fast. And that's one thing that we harp on a daily basis. So it's not so much responding; it's more so of just being efficient offensively.
Coach, you mentioned injuries a moment ago. Jency went down in that game last week. How was he doing?
Jency, he's a little banged up. I don't know what Coach Taylor told you about that. It's probably a week or so for him to get back, and that hurts us because he was just coming on now. He really was, and not just from an athletic standpoint, just a maturity standpoint, a leadership standpoint. He was really coming on for us, and that hurts us, and not just what we do on Saturdays, but leading up to that point to get to Saturdays.
Coach, can you talk about Herb Middleton's 115 rushing yards and Brown's 47-yard touchdown pass?
Yeah, so Irv, at the half, he only had 47 yards, and man, at the end of the game, I was surprised he had 115. But if you notice his running style, man, he's always falling forward. And he's gaining extra yards. We call those the hitting yardage. And so that's his mentality, that's his mindset. And I wasn't surprised at the end of the game that he had 115 yards. The play you're talking about in particular with Fabian, that was a double move that we did. So we ran the rollout a couple times, and we saw from up top that those guys were biting, and we just made a double move, and he was wide open. And some of those passes, when they're so wide open, to me, those were some of the toughest passes to make. So, kudos to Jason for, putting the ball up there that Fabian can catch. And it was at a huge moment in the game to give us a bigger lead. I think that made it 28, and then we came back and scored again with 7 that made it 35. So that was a big moment in the game for us.